Hi everybody, it's David Fleming here from the Toronto Realty blog, and welcome to this week's Pick 5. Now the week after Victoria Day long weekend is usually a very busy one, and this year was no exception. On Tuesday, the first day back, looking at E123, what we call the East Side, by 10:15 a.m. I hadn't even finished my coffee. There was already over 20 new listings. There ended up being over 50 that day. And today, Wednesday, it's 5 o'clock now, there's already 35. Things are really moving. Now, what I'm seeing in the condo market is interesting as well, because downtown is selling, and outside the downtown core, really hit or miss. Things happen to be sitting. I've got 4 condo listings right now. One of them's about to sell any minute now. That's the downtown one. The uptown one is sitting. Outside of the downtown, you could call it downtown, I guess. My friend who lives in Thornhill, he calls Yonge and Eglinton downtown. I was like, that's Midtown. That's downtown. Anyway, semantics. 2 outside the downtown proper, both sitting as well. So that's kind of where we are in the market. There's a lot of inventory. If you're a buyer, now is your time. Get out there. There's a ton of inventory. I don't see prices jumping up right now on you. I see, because of the inventory level, I see things somewhat flat. This is an opportunity for you as a buyer to get out there and make a move, especially while you've got choice on your side. So this week, guys, I wanted to talk about something unique. I like these blog posts. I want to talk this week about houses that back onto Greenspace, whether it's a park or whether it's a ravine, or in one case, a reverse ravine. I wanted to know, what do you think that adds in terms of value? Now, let's say for argument's sake, there are 2 houses on either side of the street. One of them is worth $1 million. Doesn't back onto the green space. On the other side of the street, it's the exact same house. Same family, same everything, same sunshine. But it backs onto a park. Is that house worth $1.05 million? Is it worth $1.1 million? Is it worth $1.2 million? It's the same darn house, but it backs onto the green space. That's what I'm trying to get at today. So when I was growing up, I had family in Thornhill. And they had a very small backyard. It was tiny. But the back gate opened to a massive park. And it wasn't one of those like power line parks. It was just this open field that you would never get downtown because there just seemed to be more land up there. Everything was so much more wide open. So who really needed to play in the backyard when on the other side of the fence we could stay close, we could do whatever the heck we wanted. I don't know in terms of size. Of course, everything's larger in your mind's eye from when you're a kid. But it was massive. There had to be, I want to say, like 60 houses backing onto this. And a friend of mine from university, he bought in Hamilton, he had the exact same thing. Except I think the activities we engaged in while exiting the backyard were a little bit different as adults. Anyways, point being, I have 5 properties today that all back onto some sort of green space. I wanted to go through them, and I want to give you my thoughts on the value and the functionality, really. The marginal utility, if you will. Okay, let's take a look. So the first property here is 2 Notley Pl. Now, if you don't know where Notley Pl is, let me show you. Taylor Creek. And this is a little cul-de-sac. So I'm going to zoom out so you know where we are. It's not in Parkview Hills. Parkview Hills, for those of you that don't know, when you're going along O'Connor and you turn, right, and then there's a Home Depot. Oh, sorry, I've lost my bearings. No, I was right. There's a Home Depot past St. Clair. It is, I'm going to get this, Curity. It's on Curity. I'm going to zoom in and show you the darn Home Depot. There it is. Thank you. I know the city. Okay, so it's not in Parkview Hills. It's actually on the other side, just a little bit north of Stan Wadlow Park. This is an awesome baseball diamond here, by the way. So on the other side of Stan Wadlow Park, and this is actually tough to access, right? Because you are off of O'Connor down here, no through traffic, very quiet, and backing on to the creek. Now let me show you this. This is kind of fun. This is in Geo Warehouse. Oh, so I'm going to show you the actual piece of land. That's kind of neat, right? So on Notley Pl, here's the cul-de-sac, and here's your frontage, and there's you backing on. So if this is your house, it's not right behind you, and as you can see, it's off to a bit of an angle, but you can tell when they talk about pie shape, this is the ultimate pie shape. We'll take a look at that in a minute, but this definitely backs onto the green space. And the house itself, you know, 2-story, right? Looks like a bit of an A-frame that's been blown out. 4-bed, 3-bath. It's got a private drive. It's 30 feet wide. It's 160 feet deep. See, this says quarter acre, see survey, large pie. We don't need to see that because we've already kind of seen it. So the house looks to be in pretty good shape overall. Someone's at my door. The house looks to be in pretty good shape overall. And as I said, right, looks like original A-frame 1.5 story. They've blown out the side. Nice landscaping for a house of this vintage. Looks like it's pretty well taken care of. Big private drive. And inside, right, decently renovated. How much can you possibly do with a house of this size? Living room at the front, dining room behind it, little den. You can already start to see, right? Green space behind you. It's really cool. Okay, so a bit of a dated kitchen. So what, right? Today we're trying to look at the value that exists behind these houses. Still at my door. Okay, nice big walk-in closet. Bedrooms upstairs. So this is in the second level. There are 4 bedrooms. Now, I'm curious to know if they're all on the second level. And let's go second bathroom. Okay, so basement. Not bad, right? Now, how is there a skylight in the basement? We'll come back to that. So this is what I wanted to show you. And not to just, gloss over it. But this is essentially what we're looking at today. What does this do for you? So first of all, you have a beautiful backyard. No one's doubting that. And you can see the unique shape of this lot. Let's go back to the Geo warehouse. See this? Here's the house. And it goes out and like this. Out and across. So here we go. Out and across. So up the hill here. Looks like maybe there's some other houses. Let's take a look again. Okay, yeah, some other houses. That's someone else's backyard. Sorry if that's making you dizzy. You can see they put trees at the back here because, they don't want to look down on people, not metaphorically and literally. This is the ravine. So let's say that there was a little fence opening here and you're the outdoorsy type. And your kids are like, Mom, Dad, I'm going to play in the ravine. I mean, to me, that's a hell of a lot better than playing Fortnite. I don't actually know what that is, but my mom says, she literally, God, don't get me started on public school. My mom supply teaches. She says she literally looks out and all the kids are like this. When did this happen? If you're a parent and your kid has a cell phone in class and you allow them to do that, you're to blame. I'm telling you that. You're to blame. I think the parents, so I'm 38, the people that are like 48 or 45 because I had kids late, you're the ones to blame for this because we didn't have cell phones in classes. We didn't need them. But now everyone has a cell phone and they all just do this. They play Fortnite. And if the teacher were to say, Billy, give me that, Billy would just say the teacher hit me, and then they would side with Billy, and the teacher would be suspended, because that's what we do. But I don't understand why all the kids are playing games on their phones in classes. My sister, who's a teacher too, sent me a photo from an auditorium, and there was a speaker up there, probably trying to tell these kids how they're all doomed, and all the kids were like this. Anyways, I don't even remember what we were talking about. Right, kids playing in the ravine instead of playing Fortnite. Sorry for that tangent, not sorry. So I personally would love to be backing onto that. Now, my grandfather growing up, who I idolized, I think he passed away when I was about 11, knew him for a handful of years. He had a house that backed onto a ravine. I didn't know what a ravine was. And he had this big walking stick. We'd always get a walking stick, and I wanted to be just like him. We'd walk down and into the ravine. I think that was like, not Serena Gundy, but Edwards Gardens, that whole trail throughout the city. This was maybe Leslie, and I want to say York Mills, somewhere up in that area. So I grew up walking through the ravine, thinking it was cool, nature, etc. Now I'm a total city slicker. And I know I'm belaboring this point, but there's something to be said for this. I think it's a tremendous value. And if you're somebody that values this, as opposed to, your kids playing video games or whatever it is that they do, I think it would change your life. I really think it would shape your life and that of your family. Geez, that was really overselling it. I'm not trying to sell it. Anyways, let me move on here because I want to get through this in less than 45 minutes. So again, here you can see nothing behind you but nature. I love this. I think it's so cool. It's an unbelievable property. That's awesome. Anyways, that's it. 2 Notley Place. Let's move on. I really, really went on too long there. Okay, I didn't even tell you the price. Who cares, right? $1,249,000 holding back. So here we have 29 Fallingbrook Drive. So this is down in the beaches. Now, I've done a lot on Fallingbrook in the past, right? Some pretty cool properties down in here. Now this one on Fallingbrook, again, backs onto the Greenspace. Now if we look at Fallingbrook's map, we'll zoom in here. This is actually really helpful because you can see the lot lines. Yep, there you go. So you can see the frontage, you can see the property itself, and then all the way back, and here's the Greenspace. So who knows how exact this is. And then this is the Hunt Club, so it backs onto the Hunt Club. Now, do we even care about the house? Yeah, I guess we do. Okay, so we got a 60-foot frontage, 229 feet deep, 4-bed, 3-bath, private drive, 2-car garage. Not the most appealing house from the outside, right? This angel brick. Looks like these windows were blown out. You could reface this and it could look pretty nice. But again, what we're after here, oh God, this is what they did with this stupid, look at this. You know what? There's an article I want to show you, okay? Let's just do this. This is saved to my favorites for a potential blog post. Oh, we got an offer. Okay. Real estate photos are distorting reality, frustrating would-be home buyers. Wide-angle lenses, Photoshop, and virtual staging. Now look, I don't have an issue with virtual staging. What I have an issue with, to be honest, is this. This is not virtual staging. This is what they call digital enhancement. This is ridiculous. This is not the house you're selling. And then you're going to go through here, and you're going to continue, I'm guessing, to see more digital enhancements. Well, no, maybe this is the actual house itself. Okay. So the whole digital enhancement thing, I think is just silly. I did a blog on that. I would link to this if I could, but I don't think YouTube allows you to. So let's blow through this because we're not as excited about the actual house as much as we are about our game that we're doing, which is how much would this add in value. So here's the rub with this one. You ready for this, guys? The term reverse ravine. It's one of those terms that, you know, makes something negative sound positive. You're like, oh, we live in a reverse ravine lot. What's that? Well, that's, as you can tell, when your lot goes up. So then you have this massive load-bearing wall, hoping that there's no mudslide, right? So what's happening up here? I don't know, your teenagers are probably smoking weed and just kicking their feet. This is a very cool lot, but you have to make use of this. Otherwise, what's the point? Reverse ravine, right? It's going up. So what is cool here is that this staircase leads up to the hunt club. So you better be a member to the hunt club, or at least like walking your dog while people hit golf balls. So what's the value of this? To me personally, I would have to think it's a little bit less than the last one. Now it's pretty to look at. It is Greenspace. And, you know, there you go. There's another shot of it. And it's a huge lot. So you can do whatever you want with this. Again, this is what I'm talking about. If you had kids, maybe I'm thinking like a dad now, but if you had kids, Jesus Christ, blowing up my phone. One more time. If you had kids and this was their playground, don't you think maybe they would turn out a little differently if their playground was, you know, I don't even know, N64. No. What? PlayStation? No. Xbox. I don't even know what kids have today, and I'm sitting here complaining about it. The Nintendo. I don't know. I would imagine it's like, you know, Nintendo 48. Whatever it is. My point is, and I really do sound like an old man now, I think this is such an incredible opportunity to have something like this. And yes, I know it's $2 million. But for those people that can't afford it, or for those people that are looking outside of the city, for those people, I don't care if you live in Ajax and you're watching this, I just think that your life will be shaped by the idea of backing onto the green space. Now, I had a friend growing up, who shall remain nameless, who grew up on Reichert in North Leaside on a 330-foot lot. Now, again, how much of that was actual usable land? Maybe 130 feet. First time I ever went to his house, I wouldn't say I had a friend growing up. He's my friend now. I didn't meet him until we were like 20. He was hitting golf balls up into the woods, 330-foot lot. Now, he grew up into cycling, cross-country skiing, frisbee and hacky sack, all the outdoorsy stuff. And, you know, North Leaside, us South Leaside kids, I don't know, we're probably into playing Nintendo. But point being, the friend that I have now is still into all of those things. Totally into cycling, totally into cross-country skiing, shaped his entire life and that of his kids. And I have to think it's because he grew up on Reichert, backing on to the green space like this. So I'm really overselling this now, and this Pick 5 has become less about the actual real estate and more about life, which is weird. Okay, let's go to, was I wearing these? Oh, that's so much better. Let's go to 32 Queen Anne. So 32 Queen Anne, well, this one's a little bit different. Now, first of all, amazing area, right? This is prime Kingsway. I know this is Lambton Mills. We don't really know what that is, but the Kingsway reads here, in the school, Lambton Kingsway Jr. is up here. So 32 Queen Anne here is backing on to the park. Now, again, we'll go to our good friend here. Now, this is a little bit easier to dig, okay? We've got pretty even lot sizes. The last ones were all pies and such. Now, this is just a simple backing onto the park. This isn't a ravine. This isn't that, backing on the woods like my friend. This is just a pretty simple, I'm going right to it, backing onto the park. We've got a nice little backyard. And there we see, backing onto the park. From upstairs, backing onto the park. Cherry blossom tree, nice. And there's the park itself. So my guess is that this is on the other side of the fence. So let's just go back here. Let's just go back to this. Let's say this is your backyard. And so let's say that when I was growing up with my uncle in Thornhill, right, let's say the backyard was like this, right? It was just this rinky-dink little yard. And then there's a fence here. The difference is what we were looking at was way, way bigger. It honestly was. What is the value to backing onto this? Now, are we being lazy? Tell me honestly, are we being lazy? If you lived on the other side of the street, your kids can't go around? You're like, do you guys want to go play in the park? And they're like, oh man, like I would if I lived on the other side of the street, like Jimmy, but yeah, like mom, my legs, they just, just constant state of atrophy. I just can't do it. I don't know. Maybe I'm making a bigger deal out of this than it is, but I think that's awesome. I think it is an unbelievable feature. If you were to compare, say, that to, I don't know, a finished basement, I sure as hell rather have that because I can always finish my basement. So just because we want to say we did, take a look at the house itself. I love this style. I don't know what we'd call it, English country cottage, something like that. Very pretty from the outside, some traditional features on the inside, living room, dining off the side. I like the layout. A lot of built-in. So yeah, this is pretty original, but it's charming if I had to use the word charming. Yeah, this does feel kind of cottagey. English country cottage. I don't know if I made that up or not. French doors, right? Even an old antique piece. Very nice. Then you're going to get into, yeah, this sort of not brand new, but not old kitchen, opening to a family room. There it is. Beautiful layout. And then they've even got the sunroom at the, please don't do that, MLS. I wanted to point this out, but we're not going to be able to. Kind of like the eat-in breakfast area. MLS always has that one photo. Nice walk-in closet, 4-post bed. It's like a 4-post queen. That makes the room look ginormous. Yeah, see? Right? Paddles. Oh, the places you'll go. Like I'm saying, maybe backing onto the Greenspace made these people outdoorsy. Look at all these trophies here from, polo and cycling and such. And that's this one. Okay, let's move on because I'm trying to get home to see my daughter for 15 minutes before I go downtown. 15 Hampshire Heights. Hampshire Heights. Where are we? Well, we're a ways, folks. We're actually up here at Kipling and Rathburn. So this one backs onto, well, it's a little strip. I don't know what we're going to call that. Is that a park? It's certainly green space because it's green on Google Maps. So again, a little easier to dig here. Not actually dig, I mean to dig, to jive, to vibe. A little easier here when laying out these concentric lots than let's say, these ones over here that we were looking at. Actually, the weird one was Notley Pl. So yes, it's a 58 by 105. It sure doesn't look like it. Let me just go back to that, right? These are 58s? Yeah, they are. They're monster lots. That's a value that you get out there. Now the house itself, 4 bed, 5 bath, 2.3, 6 days on the market. And we're really just looking at the photos of what it backs onto. So you know what the hell? Let's say that we did. You don't need my comments. I hate that tile. Now you need my comments. Okay, so let's be honest here. Tiny little yard, right? Tiny, tiny, tiny little yard, but look at the green space it backs onto. So it's almost like it's your yard. There just happens to be that little fence in between and other people are using it. And that's really the point that I'm trying to make. That's a big fridge. Okay, I'm gonna just fast forward here. Thank you, thank you. And we're gonna get to, what was that? That always creeps me out. Oh, let's put a mannequin in. Okay, so here we go. Very small yard. It's actually not as small as it looked in that photo because we do have a covered porch, right? We got a little conversation area here. We got another area over here that looks like a little fire pit, chimenea type thing. Probably have a barbecue. And where are we backing onto? The green space, right? That's the value. That's what we're talking about. Now, a lot of power lines, folks. That's what I was mentioning before, right? Is it green space? Or is it Cancer Central? I said it. I don't know. It really depends. I have a friend that bought a place that is, oh my God, it's massive. And he has a chicken coop. You're not supposed to have one, but he has a chicken coop. And he basically reinforced his entire house with, I don't know, steel, aluminum, metal, something, to ensure that the waves. God, I sound stupid. I'm not a Jeopardy champion. The electricity was not, going into the house and basically making him like Better Call Saul's brother in Better Call Saul. If you haven't seen the show, you have no idea what I'm talking about. It's a character who's mentally ill and he thinks he's allergic to electricity. Anyways, in this case, yes, it is probably not ideal to be living right next to these massive power lines. I don't have the experience to tell you what the problem is. I just know that probably not ideal. So how much do you value this now? And I put this one in here because I think it's interesting. We're adding value for the green space, but now are we subtracting value for the power lines? Yes. Is it a wash, or would you argue that there's actually net negative value after you consider the green space and the power lines? And if you're a parent, do you want your kid running around out there? I don't know. Again, I have absolutely no idea what this does. Did not take anything past grade 10 science. I took grade 12 biology for one day. The teacher was a dick. So I said, can I go to the bathroom? And he gave me a 10-minute speech about the bathroom. Then I went down and I transferred into drama, which was amazing. I walked in and I said, here, that's my transfer slip. Bye. That was pretty cool. And drama was amazing. It was grade 11 biology. Sorry. Anyways, okay, one more, guys. And this one is, I know, it's a dream property, right? 3.4 million, and you're going to be like, well, for 3.4 million, I mean, you better back onto a park. I know, but you know what? There wasn't a lot of $600,000 houses that back onto Greenspace. So 22 Glenwood, again, we're in the beaches. Or sorry, not in the beaches. Oh my God, why do I think we're in the beaches? So we're back in this little pocket here at Taylor Creek. So remember Taylor Creek, the first house I showed you, is over here on Notley. This one, super private. When you drive onto Glenwood Crescent, you're the only one there. No one comes onto this street unless you happen to live there. So, and you can also see, by the way, when you're driving along O'Connor, I'm driving this way to go to my mom's, and then you look and you see these houses kind of like down here is like a little cliff-ish. So, the house itself, gorge, okay, massive. This is actually from the back, right? There it is, right? Just unfrickin' believable, right? Look at this on the side. Nice stonework, leads all the way down to the creek. You have built a huge deck around the tree. See the electrical conduit on the tree, so it's all lit up? That's the back of the house. How many different levels? This is a dream property, honestly. That's unbelievable. Where do you find that in Toronto? Now, it's a great photo, but where in the world do you find that? It's absolutely amazing. Look at that deck, right? That is so cool. Here's the deck, and you have all this green space, and it almost feels like, look, it just ends here, but it doesn't. Whoever took that photo is up here. I'm having camp flashbacks. Holy crap. Oh, wow. Wee Willie Winkie. Did I ever tell you about Wee Willie Winkie? 1985 was at Bayview Glen Day Camp, and there was the legend of the person named Wee Willie Winkie. He was a guy that lived in the woods and would sneak up on you. You would never see that in 2019. You would not name someone Wee Willie Winkie, the person that lives in the woods and sneaks up on you. But literally, in 1985, we were running around looking for Wee Willie Winkie, and I just got that flashback, and for some odd reason decided to share it with you. Why does anyone watch this? So, gives me camp flashbacks. Honestly, that is what I remember Bayview Glen Day Camp in the 80s. And for those of you, I don't know what it is that you're looking for. Living in the moment, probably a little bit better than the flashbacks, but this could replace your cottage. Maybe that's what it is. Couldn't afford a cottage. Can't afford the time to go. So why not combine the two? Me personally, I'd love to own a cottage one day. I'm never going to use it. I think this would be a healthy alternative. Take your home life and take the dream cottage life, combine them into one. Unbelievable, absolutely phenomenal proposition. That is so cool. Wee Willie Winkie. The house itself, guys, not too shabby either. I mean, it's absolutely gorge. Look out your window and that's what you see. Unbelievable. Wow. Amazing. Look at that. That's your master bedroom room. That's what you look at. Well, your camp counselors tell you that a guy lives in the woods. And we saw his house, apparently. Yeah, it was a hole with like a tarp and sticks. Anyways, so aerial shot. I don't know which one it is. I think it's this one. Otherwise, I'm a little confused. That one's really far set back. They should actually circle it. There you go. This is what I was talking about when you come across a bridge and you look down here, right? So maybe it's on the other side. That's so cool. So cool. Very nondescript from the front. You might not know what kind of property this actually is. That's beautiful. It's very unassuming. I'd almost use the word humble. I know you're going to say it's stupid because, if you live in a shoe, this isn't humble. But from the front, that's humble compared to the back. Anyways, guys, that was fun. Not just because I went on 1,000 weird tangents I should probably talk to a psychologist about, but because I like doing things on Pick 5 that are a little bit different, and this really was. And hopefully it opened your eyes to some different property types. And as far as value goes, the conclusion is it's in the eye of the beholder. Some people don't value it at all. Some people don't want, the upkeep, the maintenance. They're worried about a mudslide in that reverse ravine, or maybe they don't belong to the hunt club and they don't need a staircase leading up to it. But in any event, this is something to consider if and when you are looking to buy a house. If you're thinking about whether there's a park across the street or there's a park, down the street, it's the same thing, sorry. I just think maybe paying the premium is worth it, depending on who you are, where you spend your spare time, right? Like I said, my friend growing up, it made him into the person he is, completely outdoorsy. And me personally, I have a tiny ass little yard. There's a park across the street. There's a school up the way, which interestingly got a bomb threat today. Did you hear about that? There was a suitcase, someone wrote bomb on it, and all the police showed up at Bennington. Anyways, guys, I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much for watching. As always, have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.